Hey, shalom, brothers and sisters. This brother Amas coming to you live again with call to action, man. Listen, it's another great week, man, but we got to get into this thing because it's time that, we continue to push through and really get back into our rightful place. Because we're called. Many are called, but few are chosen. You got to decide who you are and what you're trying to be and how you're going to endure this. We have to get out the criminal justice system, ladies and gentlemen. We have to get out of the criminal justice system. Our brothers and sisters need to get out of the criminal justice system. Point blank, period. Now let me pull this thing up real quick. Because we got to understand what we're dealing with here. Give me one moment. Because this is serious. And we seen the documentary. But this is how serious this is, because we already have I'm talking to the Israelites, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American brothers and sisters. We already have a lot of stuff going on with us already. We already got many forces working against us right now. But we got to exit the criminal justice system. And here's why. Let's read the 13th Amendment. Y'all need to print this 13th Amendment out, hang it up on your bathroom wall, hang it up, because you need to remember, before you stealing, before you trying to kill each other, before you trying to do anything trifling. Now, I'm not saying that's the only way that you end up in the criminal justice system, but we got to do what we need to do. And here's why. This is what the 13th Amendment says. It states this: neither slave, like you're neither a slave nor involuntary servitude, except as a punishment for crime whereof the party shall have been duly convicted, shall exist within the United States, meaning that it's going to happen. It will happen. Shall exist within the United States or any place subject to their jurisdiction. That's what your founding fathers believe when it comes to the 13th, when it comes to the Constitution, and believe about us when we commit crimes. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen, I have to really say this. When you got your elected officials, they swear to uphold the United States Constitution, they're swearing to uphold the 13th Amendment. When Barack Obama said he swore to uphold the United States Constitution, he said he swears to uphold the 13th Amendment. When Kamala Harris swears to uphold the United States Constitution, she's swearing to uphold the 13th Amendment. When Joe Biden swears to uphold the United States Constitution, they're swearing to uphold the 13th Amendment. When the likes of Elijah Cunningham, when John Lewis, all of them brothers and sisters, your favorite person, the AOC, the Cory Bookers, when they swear to uphold the United States Constitution, they're swearing to uphold the 13th Amendment, which says that you will be put into slavery or indentured servitude, more likely slavery, if you commit a crime and you're convicted of a crime. That means if you're on parole, you're on probation, you're subject to being a slave and an indentured servant. You see how serious that is, ladies and gentlemen? It's a very serious feat for us as a people, because we got so many forces working against us. And that is why they have to lock us up. They have to keep on. When I say they, I'm talking about this United States of America. I'm talking about Esau, the Caucasians. I'm talking about the Asians, but I'm specifically talking about the Caucasians. They have to lock us up. We multiply. Let me read this. Because this is what we're dealing with, ladies and gentlemen. Look at this. Exodus verse 1 and verse 7. Because this is what the Egyptians are not our people. We the Israelites. The Egyptians and Israelites are not the same people. Exodus 1 and 7. And the children of Israel were fruitful and increased abundantly and multiplied and waxed exceedingly mighty, and the land was filled with them. Where you got Israelites, we populate and populate no matter how much gentrification, how much eugenic stuff they do. We keep having babies after babies after babies. That's why you constantly see the abortion clinics in our community, in our neighborhoods. That's why they push homosexuality more so. You listen, when we look at homosexuality, we see more of our people doing it than the other nations doing it. You don't truly see too many Asian homosexuals, Pakistani homosexuals, Indian homosexuals. You see more black homosexuals. They put it in movies now. I'm a young brother, but I see it's more and more and more prevalent now. But here's the point. Verse 10. Come on. Let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when their fall. Let me read it right. Let me start at verse 9. Verse 8. And there rose up a new king over Egypt, which knew not Joseph. And the king, and he said unto his people, Behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we. See, these other nations know that the children of Israel, we're more and mightier than them. So what do you have to do in order to combat that? You got to do something. Verse 10, come on. Let us deal wisely with them. How do you deal wisely with us? You start pushing agendas. You start giving them jobs. You start giving us jobs. You start allowing us to go to your schools. You start giving them rank. You start showing mercy and justice on some, but you just get people because you want to gain over them. But here we go. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply, and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land. In verse 11, therefore they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. So deal wisely with us. You set taskmasters, and taskmasters are not always the other nations. Taskmasters are who? The people who's going to quiet us down. The Al Sharptons, the Barack Obamas, some of these athletes and entertainers, where they're paying them to, come on, y'all, it's not that bad. Or man, retract that statement that you said. That's what they're doing to us. You understand? We got to come out this criminal justice system, ladies and gentlemen. We got to. Once we're out, we got to stay out because that's why they want to put us more, because that gives them permission to what? To do us dirty. And why do I bring this up today? Because I've been in the criminal justice field for over 12 years. And specifically, I'm working with parolees. And I'm seeing the ins and outs of what's taking place. And it's very important because I hear the complaints, because my job is the reentry. I'm get jobs, employment, jobs, all that, trade, going back to school, housing, birth certificates, social security cards, reuniting with their families, working with the, specific areas of trying to help them navigate the child support and going to court, different things like that. And they complain, they do us wrong, man. They talk to us like we dogs. They sending us back. They're not responding to my calls. I'm trying to ask them questions. They getting attitude. It's what they saying. So, if you come back to this 13th Amendment where it says, you will be a slave and you will be an indentured servant if you break a crime. So you will be treated, inhumane. And it's a shame that when you think about the humane society, you're talking about dogs. You're calling these dogs facility a humane society. Humane, root word human, but we ain't gonna get into that. So we gotta understand what we're dealing with in the time period that we're dealing with, that none of these presidential candidates is going to save us. See, we got the saying where, oh no, it's not important to vote locally. But guess what? When they uphold the United States Constitution, they're upholding the 13th Amendment. So we have to stop and get out of that funk. Let's read this, because I got to remind y'all of something. Let's go to Lamentations chapter 4 and verse 17. As for us, our eyes as yet fail for our vain help. That means the Israelites, we're looking for help that's not coming. We're looking for a people to do something for us that they're never going to be doing. They're never capable of doing. As for us, our eyes as yet failed for our vain help. In our watching, we have watched for a nation. We have watched for a nation. We have watched for a nation that could not save us. We keep watching like, yo, what they gonna do? What laws they gonna pass? Oh my gosh, they talking about reparations. Let's watch. but we're watching for a nation that's not going to save us. This America is not going to save us. We've been voting for 45 presidents. Well, less than that. But we've been voting. What has this nation done? You're telling me with these individuals because up there they got people with PhDs, specific certifications, specialized degrees, and you telling me they don't understand, with all that knowledge and wisdom and all that credentials, they don't understand the oppression that goes on with our people? They do, they just don't care. Because guess what? They're upholding the United States Constitution. They have to. They have to. And that's where you get into, they took because look, let's read this. Deuteronomy 28, verse 68. Verse 48. Deuteronomy 28, 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, in thirst, in nakedness. That means everything, our food, our water, our clothing, and in want of all things. Everything we're going to have to get, all the resources in this world is going to come from them. That's the point. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee. That's when the chains fell off. When we were completely spiritually, mentally, and physically destroyed, that's when the yoke of arms physically came off our necks. And then that's when they instituted what? The slave codes, Jim Crow, all of those different aspects. The redlining, you know what I'm saying? The prison, the pipeline situation, the crime bill, all these specific laws. We was destroyed. That's when the physical chains came off and what were in the conditions we are in today. That's why we got to get our brothers and sisters out of this condition. Because when I was speaking to the old heads, the elders, they be really speaking a lot of truth when it comes to, we got to wake up to who we are and what our responsibility is. That's my life's mission. To wake our so-called brothers and sisters up, the so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American brothers and sisters up, to remember who they are and what they represent. You represent a great people. You know what I'm saying? There's no nation like you. Let's get this. Deuteronomy chapter 7, verse 6. For thou art a holy people, talking about you specifically. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American brothers and sisters, thou art a holy people unto the Lord thy God. God has chosen you. The Lord God hath chosen thee to be a special people. You're special unto himself. You're special to God. Like, how, sometimes your parents got that special child. Yeah, he might have created them other kids, but you're special to him. Above all people that are upon the face of the earth. You're special above all these other people. Thus saith the Lord God. Let's get some more on that. Deuteronomy 14 and 2. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. And the Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people. That means that's another word for being special. A special treasure, a special possession to him. The Lord hath chosen thee to be a peculiar people unto himself, above all nations that are upon the earth. No matter where you go, we're greater. No matter, we could be in the ghettos, we're still greater. We in the slums. We on drugs. We got abortion clinics. We walking down the streets with trash. We're still above all these people. It don't change that. They can lump us in one. They can keep on initiating this 13th Amendment. They can keep on putting crack in our neighborhoods, weed. They can keep on, turning us homosexual. We're still a special people to the Most High God himself. That does not change, because our covenant is with him and not with this world. Whoo, that's powerful, ladies and gentlemen. That's powerful, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get some more on that real quick. Let's oh my, all praise to the Most High, man. All praise to the Most High. And let me share something with y'all with this. Let me find it. Because y'all are so, y'all so stuck on this country, and y'all think that we need to keep voting and keep voting. Matter of fact, let me get that real quick, because let's get about what the Most High says, what we're supposed to be voting for and how we're supposed to be voting. That's Deuteronomy 17 and verse 15. This is what the Lord God said to the children of Israel. You so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American brothers and sisters. Deuteronomy 17, verse 15. Thou shalt in any wise, in any way, set him king over thee, whom the Lord thy God shall choose. So the Most High God will choose our king to be over us as a whole nation. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. One from among thy brethren shalt thou set king over thee. One of our own. Here is it. Thou mayest not set a stranger over thee, or which is not thy brother. We should not set a stranger. We should not set no other nation over us. The Joe Bidens, the Trumps, none of they asses. So when they go vote, we're not supposed to vote because they are not our people. What nation of people, what other nation votes for a person that's not of their own? When has that happened? We are the only people who does that. When have you seen a lion get upset at the other lions and go start chilling with the hyenas? When have you seen a pigeon get upset with the other pigeons and go hang with the cats? It just don't mix. But we want to mix with every damn thing and everybody because we hate ourselves, because we don't know who we are as a people. And this, ladies and gentlemen, and this is what happens. Let's go to the book of Zechariah, chapter 11, in verse 4 and 5. Thus saith the Lord my God, this is the Most High speaking. Feed the flock of the slaughter. We are the flock. The children of Israel are the flock. Matthew 15, verse 24. My sheep. No. Christ said, what he say? He said, I am not sent but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. The sheep deals with the flock. Feed the flock of the slaughter. Verse 5, whose possessors slay them. We're still in captivity. We're still in slavery. The Caucasians, they're our possessors. They're possessing us. We got to go to them for food, for clothes, for shelter, for thirst, and wanting all things according to Deuteronomy 28:48. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. How do they hold themselves not guilty? When them cops are on trial, them prosecutors is not convicting them, or not even bringing them to trial, or even bringing charges against them. Or when they do go on trial, they're with amongst a jury of their peers, of other Caucasians, and they're saying not guilty, acquitted. So, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. They're not going to make their own people guilty. Let's continue. And they that sell them say, blessed, this is them mocking us, blessed be the Lord, for I am rich. Oh, the Lord God wanted us to have this land. The Lord God wanted to have all the treasures in Africa. That's why he placed it here for us. False. Blessed be the Lord, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. Al Sharptons don't pity us. Barack Obamas don't pity us. Kamala Harris don't pity us. Yeah, they get on there and try to talk, but they don't really care about us. You know what I'm saying? The Jesse Jacksons, they don't care about us. The Roland Martins, they don't care about us. You know what I'm saying? They don't care about us. You know what I'm saying? They're not trying to teach us what we should do. They're telling us to vote. Vote for people who uphold the United States Constitution, which is also the 13th Amendment. That's what they're telling us to vote for. They're telling us to vote against our own cause. So why are we voting for people who's going to uphold the United States Constitution and uphold slavery? And we know who is the disproportionate people that are incarcerated. Us. We're getting incarcerated for things that we are not even guilty of. We got many family members who's locked up for the crime they didn't commit. Granted, a lot of folks need to be locked up because they blatantly committed a crime. But we are at a point where we are getting locked up, disproportionately for dime bags and shit, getting 20, 30 years. And brothers like Brock Taylor and then the bull who had wrapped the brother up in the basketball team into the mat, and his dad worked for the same company that was investigating him, and they got off scot-free. You know what I'm saying? But the brother selling the weed is getting 20 to 25 years. Brothers, our young brothers and sisters at 12 years old getting life sentences. See what I'm saying? But we want to play games and keep voting for people that's upholding the United States Constitution, upholding the 13th Amendment. Vote Christ. Vote making marriages right and honorable again. Vote for taking care of your kids. Vote for, keeping God's commandments, putting your fringes on. Vote for keeping the Sabbath day. Vote for keeping the holy days, not the holidays. Vote for apologizing to your brothers and sisters and making amends. That's what you vote for. Vote Christ. Vote the Most High God. Vote your nationality as the Israelites. You know what I'm saying? That's what you vote. Because when the Most High God is dealing with us, when we not in sin, we untouchable. This is all because we broke God's commandments. That's Deuteronomy 28:15. That's Deuteronomy 28:15. Deuteronomy 28 verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord God thy God. If we don't listen to the Most High God when he's telling us what to do, to observe, to do all his commandments, to do all, that means all of them, and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. And they have. Our sons and daughters have been sold into slavery. We had yokes on upon our neck. We got to serve them for every aspect of life. Our drinks, our water, our food, our clothing. Our names are changed. We don't remember who we are. We're scattered across all nations and integrated with all nations. We got to get right, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, you are a special people. My so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native American brothers and sisters. Like I said, this is call to action. I'm Brother Amas. And with that, I say shalom.